Missing someone. Missing someone. Missing someone. Love with all your heart. Missing someone.
Going Venice in May, me.
Nice.
Yeah, shit, I saw that.
Yeah, man.
I was going to comment, but then all the big heads started commenting in, so I was like, nah, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm alright. I'll tell him that's what I did.
Yeah.
I like the video you did as well.
Oh, I should get Five Guys. To hear.
Do what you got to do.
Cheek.
That'd be kind of sick, you know. Like, I'm just gonna order some food. And
Yeah.
Like, since that video come out, right? Like, I've had like 300 followers on Instagram, mate. I feel like fucking like.
Mate, that video's
Jay-Z.
fucking
Yeah, it's good.
sick.
It's really good.
So sick.
It's really good,
I just
mate.
want to do more with them, like, fucking sick, innit?
Right.
Hi.
Do you want me to start while you're ordering food?
Yeah,
Yeah?
start, man.
All
Go
right.
for it.
So, well, I guess basically for anyone that's listening, welcome to a podcast that still doesn't have a name. That's not like that's not a sort of pretentious artistic thing. That's just, it's basically too hard to make up a name at the minute. I think that's so, how egotistical is it to not, like, I just had a meeting with a producer, a really lovely lady, and I was telling her about this, and she was just like, what's your USP, your unique selling point? And I didn't have an answer. In my head, I went, me. Like,
I am the selling point, mate.
Yeah, so I still don't have a name. Anyone thinks of something really interesting? Are you looking at McDonald's now?
Nah.
That's
My Burger Kitchen, mate. GBK, bro.
Oh shit! I need to let me put a fucking stopwatch on. Oh yeah, shit! I got to press this when the light goes down. Bosh.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, welcome.
Hello.
This is the first episode of a show that needs a name. If anyone out there who might listen, who might not listen, can think of a really interesting name for a bunch of idiots that just want to chat about dance, then hit me up. First person today is, my name. I'm Jamaal Burkmar. I don't really want to say anything about myself. I'm just happy saying my name.
Cool.
I make dance, and I'm here today with Daniel Phung
Hello.
from
It's a bit awkward.
Sheffield.
Yeah. Yeah, Sheffield, kind of.
You're born and bred in Sheffield, though.
No, born here, London, and then moved to Sheffield.
Did not know that.
Really?
Really worried you were going to say Vietnam. I thought it was going to be something. I thought I was going to say the wrong thing again. What do you call yourself?
British.
No. Sorry, I'm off the race thing. Like your profession, like because I don't say.
Profession.
Do you say dance artist, choreographer, dancer, like which, or do you just pick them all?
Movement artist, I say.
Okay,
It's kind of pretentious, but
that's fine.
kind of like.
I don't like the word choreographer.
Yeah.
I don't like the way I swallow it. Like I don't like the sound of it.
Sit in the back of your
I just say I make dance,
Good.
and then like they'll go okay, if it's a stranger. How long have we've known each other? What, 5 or 6 years? When did you start dating Kaylee? That's when I knew you.
6 years.
6 years.
Actually, yeah.
Fucking hell.
I know, man.
Actually, I knew you before that. I knew you the girl before
Yeah.
Kaylee. So there you go. Yeah, okay. So like,
There's cheeseburger. I'm thinking.
so I wanted to start. I think like Dan was the first person. Like you were the first person I thought of. And this is going to sound a bit like I think this is already going to kind of get us into tough topics. But you're here in London now.
Yeah.
You've been in Leeds. You were in Leeds for long time.
2011. So
Jeez,
like,
right. So a long time.
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason I like immediately thought I wanted to do this with you first was that I'm already a miserable bastard. Like I can complain on a roller coaster, but of late, like talking to you, it feels like you've been a little bit. I think the word jaded. Is that a fair?
Yeah. What do you mean, like with?
I mean,
general,
contemporary theatre in general, but even in the way it like hits, like because I always get a bit frustrated about things, but it doesn't affect my practice personally.
Yeah.
Like it's almost, I don't know. I've had a few conversations with you where I feel like I don't know if you're. Are you? Where's your head and your heart at with the whole with being in this industry and being a part of it?
Currently, because when we first spoke about it, I guess it's kind of changed a bit, but now, no, it's kind of similar. Originally, I was like a bit reluctant to kind of jump on this because I thought it would like jeopardize my career or whatever.
Yeah, that's my hope. I'm hoping one person comes on here and ruins their career. that's my desire. I'm already worried about
No, Tom's fine.
No, Tom has sent me messages a couple of times like, dude, I don't think I should have said that, like on Facebook. Like he's read it himself, gone, I think I should delete what I've just said.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
About, yeah.
So I'm already worried a little
we'll talk
bit.
about that later.
So that was actually part of it for you. That's interesting.
Well, yeah, like I mean, for me, like I don't know, I could go in on this conversation, but I guess for me at the moment, it's just like I'm slowly coming away from contemporary theatre simply because it's kind of sucking my soul a bit.
Right. So that's what I mean by that's a worse word than jaded. I thought I was being dramatic by saying jaded, but you're saying it's sucking your soul.
No, genuinely, because my food. Oh, fuck it. Yeah, simply because like, I do these jobs with all these people. They're great, don't get me wrong, but like as soon as the job's done, I feel like I'm not friends with them again, and I have to like wait till the next job and working with them. Then
so there's a lot because I thought it was particularly a sort of sense of disillusionment with like what you were seeing and what was around you, not just in terms of what you were doing.
Disillusionment.
It sounds like you're also saying
authenticity. Is that what you mean?
No, I mean like just being like seeing something and going, oh, okay, is that what?
Okay,
of? And
right.
then seeing something else and being like, oh, okay, is that what this is right now? Is that what this?
Yeah, I guess like when I just watch work now, I just don't feel inspired. I feel like there's nothing.
But you're here now. Like it feels like you come here to be inspired. You come to London.
Yeah, but just not just within contemporary theatre. I think it's like I'm trying to push for something else as well because I feel like because I lived in Leeds for so long.
Yeah.
Just
what's the else? You don't know what the else is.
Well, do more hip hop. Going back to when I first started, kind of reverting back to where I came from and whatnot. It's just quite nice.
Yeah. I mean, I want to almost like note down.
Go for it.
The different. No, I want to ask you like, what are the why are the reasons you're leaving one and trying to?
Well, I'm not necessarily leaving. I think I'm just like kind of dipping in and out because I feel like it's the weird thing. Like within contemporary, I don't feel like I'm progressing. I feel like I'm kind of. There isn't a goal for me. It's just like doing jobs after jobs after jobs, which is.
But what about your own work?
Yeah, so as a
because I mean, being a dancer,
maker.
I don't really know how you are just unless you just get a job, a big long job.
Yeah,
that is just the way it is.
Yeah, I feel like the only goal I do is to like stretch. It's kind of like
right,
and I'm not bothered about technique that much. So
stretch. I've not stretched for years. I think I've been to the dentist more often than I've stretched.
Well,
which is not good.
Change that.
But. So making wise, that fire's still there, but it's maybe like facing a different style of movement.
No, not necessarily. I think like my movement style is literally just. I wouldn't say hybrid because I hate that term. I hate fusion and all that stuff. But like it is from hip hop, it's from contemporary, and it is from kind of just martial arts influences and whatever. And like for me, that just a mashup of all of those things and different concepts are here and there. That's me. Yeah. But like. I don't personally like to coin myself as a hip hop artist or a contemporary artist because for me it's kind of limiting.
Well, I think the reason I ask is just because, like, I feel like when I was talking to you about it the first time, and I was hearing this guy who, like you say, you were in Leeds 2011, so that's 8 years. You're here now. Yeah. You say the words "sucking," "drying your soul," "sucking your soul," "jaded," whatever. Because I feel like there's. I wouldn't say that phrase is common, but there's just a lot of people who I have conversations with who are sticking it out, but you can sort of see like the will and the fire's a little bit gone, the drive's a little bit gone. Whatever they thought this was all going to be, this industry's gone. And so I wonder if we're not losing people, but if we're sort of taking the will away from people who already loved it, like how does that stand us in good stead for people who don't know anything about this industry, who are trying to break into it? And yeah, I don't know. I wonder what your opinion is on like this whole show is basically aimed at talking to the rest of people in the dance industry, which is grand. We can do that. We do that anyway. But I guess, and even like now, I can feel that we need to get more comfortable with it as it goes. It's going to have its growing pains, but like. how do we talk to people who have never stepped in a theatre before? Like, I grew up around, and I love the word, even though it's probably maybe an offensive word, but I grew up around chavs, and I love this guy. Like, this is 100% this face here.
Man like Tom, yeah.
But like, I just wonder, I mean, even how do you get people like who's from where Tom's from? How do you get people like my friends who are pretty middle class, are pretty cultured, but they've never stepped in a theatre before? Like, if we're already pissing off the people who have been in love with it for 10 years. I would say straight, I adore contemporary dance. I don't feel jaded about it. I love it. There's people whose work I love. And I love the industry a lot, but I'm not sure who's in charge of me. It's like being on an app trying to meet someone new, but you're I don't know. It's like only talking to your ex-girlfriend, trying to find a new. You're trying to move on and find a new partner, and you only chat to your ex-girlfriend every day. So I want to know about maybe what your thoughts are on the work you're seeing. Do you only worry about what it makes you feel, or is there any sort of? Because that's my fear. I worry about the foundations for all of this feel like this. They feel so terrifyingly fragile, and so I just wonder. Yeah, I just wonder about that.
I can only speak on my experience, and I guess how I got into contemporary was simply because of the teachers I was taught by. And to be honest, they told me, because I started out in hip hop, I got into dance and movement. I was like, I want to do this as a career. You know, how do I make it as a hip hop, as a dancer in general? And they sent me towards contemporary, and I was like, cool. I guess this will get me a job, not knowing that.
How long between you dancing and your first show, like contemporary? Because I danced in Ace. I joined. Well, I mean, I was dancing before that. I didn't see a show till I was 19, and I was at Northern, which is fucking. I mean, that's bad. That's embarrassing for me. That's embarrassing. Like, I was there. People are saying all these names. I remember hearing Hofesh like, "Yeah, he's great." I was like, "Is that a new Pokemon?" Like, that's all I thought about it. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything. Like, and I don't even blame myself. I was just a kid. 18. I'm still a kid. And I'm around people who I'm the only person in my entire life, high school and sixth form, who did dance. So, you know, I have to find it because it interests me, and I didn't. I went eventually because it was like, well, I need to go see this. But yeah, so what's the first show you ever saw of contemporary theatre, not hip hop?
Contemporary theatre, not TV or anything like that, because that's
there's nothing.
Okay, let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
One of the first ones was Charlotte Vincent.
How old are you?
So I didn't see much contemporary because I'm from Sheffield, so there's no contemporary in Sheffield.
Okay.
Zero. And
there's trains.
So sorry.
There's trains to the north.
Yeah, but I didn't know.
Okay, right. Okay.
But so yeah, I went to uni to dance and then learned contemporary, and I guess one of the first pieces was Charlotte Vincent, Motherland.
So you'd say around the same age?
Yeah, I was like first year. Yeah, I was 18.
Okay, cool. Thank God.
Yeah,
like, that makes me feel better.
For me, I was like, when you said you was embarrassed, I was like, you shouldn't be, because
I was being at Northern, because I was in a foundation, and I'm sure there was somebody else in that room who also was like me, but we stayed quiet.
Yeah. But yeah, Charlotte Vincent, that was like, I don't know, like a 2-hour piece, and that kind of set me off to whatever.
That's an introduction.
I enjoyed it. It was just a lot of shit to
First one I saw was Tabaziva.
Okay. I haven't actually seen any of their work. Here's the thing.
Yeah, I can't really remember it now. I remember it was a duet and then another thing. But it wasn't 2 hours is long.
Oh wait, hold on. No. Akram Khan solo, like years and years ago. I did it for GCSE.
Oh, see, I didn't do it. I did GCSE and we watched something, but I couldn't tell you what it was.
Yeah, it was a lot of random shit.
And then I bailed.
It was a lot of random shit.
So, well, let's talk about real. I was going to say real Americans. I'm so used to hearing that. Real Americans as a phrase. How do you, like the dude who just walked in now, right? He says, what are you talking about? And I said, oh, we're going to talk about dance. We're going to talk about theatre a little bit. He's like, oh. And then he just left. He wasn't interested at all. like I went back to playing football it's years ago now. That's why I got injured recently, like a year ago. And it would depress me how often because people get so interested. They're like, what do you do? And I say, oh, I'm a dancer, I'm a choreographer. And they're like, they lean forward. They're like, oh, tell me more. I work in a bank. My life's so depressing.
Yeah.
And then I start to tell them, and they start to sit back, and they go, I gotta go. I don't know how to be I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm boring. I'm not. But like, I don't know. I'm only telling what exists.
Yeah.
So how?
I often feel like I struggle to. Whenever I explain I'm a breakdancer, they're like, "Yo, that's sick."
Because they know that, though, right? Like,
yeah, because they know that. But with contemporary, it's like a weird place that no one really knows.
I still don't know what it is.
It means of now, whatever that means. Like, what's current. But
Oh, is that what it actually means?
yeah, in terms of contemporary.
Oh, right, okay.
Do you not think it's a period though? Like as a period, as a time period, and do you not think we're getting past that?
Yeah. Like, I sort of feel like within contemporary, anyway, we're only just coming. Well, we've just come out of like the Hoffish lot.
Yeah.
I think we've just come out of the Theo Klinkard look.
Oh, really?
I think that was the one.
I mean,
So we should say for anyone, I mean, I'm assuming right now it's only going to be dancers listening, but like when you started just a little bit after me,
Yeah.
so when we were around the same time we were starting, everyone was obsessing about Hoffish.
Yeah.
Everyone was obsessing with that style, which comes from other styles, but that was the guy, he was the dance celebrity at the time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to describe what it looks like because I'll make a mockery of it and it'll be embarrassing for all three of us.
Pokemon, apparently.
Yeah. And then as we were fading out, I remember Theo Klinkard was hot shit. And then all of a sudden I saw a bunch of Theo copycats. Maybe that's not a nice word to say. Copycats. But it happens in music. It happens in... definitely happens in music. How many times do you see like the same movie? Like, wasn't it... What was the White House ones? White House Down and then Olympus Has Fallen came out like 2 months apart. There's 2 Jungle Books. Like, there's like... side by side, like this happens anyway, right? There's a trend that happens. Yeah, you say mumble rappers. So yeah, of course this happens in dance. And now I feel like we're in a phase of hip hop inspired contemporary dance.
Yes.
Which I'm buzzing about. Like, I don't do it. I mean, I want to work with you guys a little bit, but I've never participated in it. But I think that could be really like. I think that could be exciting for people who've never seen it before. We both saw the Botis work.
Botis, his
Is that how you say his name?
Botis, I think.
Whatever. That was. I remember watching that, thinking I could show that to anyone.
Yeah.
I could show that to anyone. And there's other works I love that I couldn't show to anyone. But that I was convinced my uncle, who's rarely sees dance, who's never seen me dance, he could see that.
Yeah.
So, how do we? I would say, how do we can't do shit. But how as an industry do we maybe? I mean, I guess what are the gatekeeping aspects of this theatre? Because it feels like classical theatre will always have money.
Sadly, yeah. Go on.
I said sadly. That was dangerous. You'll never work in classical theatre.
Have you seen?
I actually like classical theatre. I got to be honest. I
appreciate it.
I have a real like burning desire to do it one day. No, I can't be in it, but yeah. But so there's classical theatre. There's neoclassical, which will always kind of be there. But then it feels like there are sort of. I don't even know what to describe, but almost like legacies. People who've just been in the industry and know how to work it and get money and they make work. And a part of me always wants to say, do you, as much as you deserve to make work and everyone deserves to, like, are you helping us or are you hindering us? Because my whole theory is, if you go and listen to music and you listen to, if you're 10 years old and you listen to a rock song and you're like, I did not enjoy that, which often isn't the case when you're young. You tend to enjoy what you hear, but and you go, oh, I didn't like that. You don't go, oh, I don't like all music. Your response is to listen to a different genre.
Yeah.
If you go and see a movie, you don't go watch a comedy, go, it didn't make me laugh, so I don't watch movies now. You try something different. I do feel like the problem with theatre is that you got to get a babysitter. You probably had an argument with your girlfriend. You've had a long week at work. Your tickets are expensive. You got to get a taxi. Maybe you've had a bit to drink. You get to the theatre. If it lets you down at that point, you're done. Like, are you really going to give it a second chance? And so I almost want to say to people who are starting out, even in myself, I wanted to say it because I haven't toured really. I've been very like careful about touring because I feel like I'm responsible for you. For you to be successful, every theatre that you go in that I've been in, I'm responsible for you. If I have a terrible show and someone's there for the first time are they going to see your show next? I doubt it. They're not going to go, oh, I'm really interested in this Dan Phung guy. No, they're going to go, I don't do that dance shit. I don't like that shit. And so it's almost like trust. Like, how much do audiences, new people, trust that they're going to have an experience that they want, or that challenges or whatever. So, yeah, that's what I'm questioning.
I mean, it's a bit weird because, like, in the end of the day, we are entertainers. We are there to perform in front of an audience.
I don't think I agree with you. I don't think everyone thinks that.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, for me, people are paying their own money to come watch us perform, and if they're going to watch a performance that they're genuinely going to hate, then, in my opinion, they should probably get a refund. Because
but to say,
maybe
dude,
not a refund. Maybe not a refund, but
dude,
like,
if I ate that sandwich, I didn't like it. I'm about to go up to say, give me my money. But yeah. I know what you're saying.
That's why McDonald's is really good, because they know what they're getting every single time.
Yeah.
And
but it's not healthy, right? Like, there has to be a balance between art that nourishes your soul, but also art that entertains you. It can't just all be cheap McDonald's thing.
Yeah, like I was speaking to my finance friend, and he was talking about loads of shit, NHS, whatever. But when it came to the arts, he was saying, like, if he was to look at the business plan of the Arts Council, he would say this is
It was not a business plan.
Yeah,
it's a. I don't know what the plan. It's a different kind of. I mean, they have a different set of goals, right? It's not really business oriented.
Yeah, of course.
Which I'm saying I think is a problem.
Yeah, I mean, like, people are paying money to watch us perform, and I feel like we have a responsibility to, you know, abide by entertaining them, or whether it's like, I don't, as an audience member, before I did any sort of contemporary, I did not want to watch anybody, you know, just twitching on stage for 20 minutes.
There's almost like there's a way of talking about that sect of contemporary dance, which is it's always a word like that, twitching, or they're just standing there naked for half an hour, or something super conceptual. Yeah.
But before contemporary dance, I was an average guy. I didn't know anything about contemporary dance. So I kind of wanted to be like, all right, cool, I'm going to go to the theatre, I'm going to watch something new. And what I wanted to see is something I could relate to. And if I'm seeing a bunch of people twitching for 20 minutes, I'm not going to relate to it. So it's not accessible. So how am I with this?
No.
What? What you saying?
Yeah,
blank my mic out there.
Not all music's accessible. Not all films are accessible.
Yeah, this is
You know
true.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Most are.
No, they're not.
Most films are accessible. Most aren't surrealist, conceptual, crazy, like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
The weirdest sort of Hollywood movie you'll see is Inception. That's the one that you go, wait, what? But, like, if you think of like a crazy movie that isn't, tell me a movie that isn't relatable. Like, I know that they exist, but
off the top of my head, anything by that Gaspar like it.
right. And how much money does a movie like that make?
It's not bad.
No, but I'm saying that means that people that those films don't get seen.
Yeah, but they have a better legacy than some like Hollywood films.
I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with that?
No, I think they have a legacy with people who decide what has a legacy. Does that make sense?
No.
Like, the people who talk like that, because I love film, I adore film. What?
I'm lost. I don't know what you
So Gaspar, say his name again.
Gaspar no.
He's a surrealist. Is it French New Wave?
He's Argentinian.
Oh fuck! Well, I did not even know what we're talking about. No, it's because the French New Wave lady died recently. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. But French New Wave.
So that whole genre of cinema, right? Like, it gets held as this beacon of light, but to an average Joe, and they matter. I think they matter. They don't give a shit. Like, all I'm thinking about is Avengers Endgame. That's the only thing that's been on my head for the last. I've seen some great movies. I saw Black Klansman. That's all I can think of because I'm too tired. But like, I just think it's sometimes on the part of art and artists to be really snobbish about about successful things. And I get like, have you started Red Dead Redemption 2?
No, yeah.
Just start it.
I'm playing Assassin's Creed. It's long.
like Red Dead 2 to me is a work of art.
Right.
But because I think there is a snobbish cult of people who have decided that what you just mentioned, all of these types of things, that's what we should define as being good, then that legacy matters. But Red Dead 2 and Red Dead 1, the legacy of what that exists, it exists with people who play video games. It exists with people who love the art of video games. Just like I think these Marvel movies, they've been around for 10, 11 years. No one's ever done this before. No one's ever done a shared universe with 20-something films. It's a feat of extraordinary proportions. Like, that's a legacy. I don't see why that doesn't get to be counted for the billions of people. Like, a couple billion people go to see those movies.
Yeah, but then French New Wave, like, how many fucking, like Tarantino and that, just take that fucking style and just...
I agree they're influencing. I absolutely agree they're influencing. I'm not...
You could argue that legacy of the Marvel films is only so people are like, oh, I've got to watch the next chapter.
No, they're dope.
I think it is, mate.
But I agree with you.
If you keep them in this fucking like, oh, that's that like the 3rd episode and that's the 10th and we've got to watch 5, 6 and 8, do you know what I mean? Like,
well, we don't need to get into Marvel, but I agree with you because there are artists that I adore, dancers and choreographers who I don't think are going to be popular. Like, and I'm not going to say their names, but I adore them and they influence me all the time.
Yeah.
And they have a legacy within me, right?
Yeah.
But to most people, I think the strongest legacy in contemporary and classical dance is probably New Adventures. Like, for most people, that's going to stand the test of time. Do you think that gets the same level as kudos from like the independent artists, sort of wannabe French New Wave directors? I don't think it does. I did the year with New Adventures for the New Adventures Award, and I remember I almost felt like there was a snobbery from people beneath it.
Yeah,
it's like people who aren't that successful or snobbish about the success of what they do, and it's just a weird thing that then doesn't really help us to. It just doesn't help us.
I watched Swan Lake like the other month.
There's sort of New Adventures Swan Lake.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, it was in Birmingham, and I went to it thinking I'm going to watch a lot of like cheesy stuff and a lot of spoon feeding, which, you know, it's a narrative. And I remember watching it and thinking, I'm so conflicted right now.
Right.
Because I genuinely, my 16-year-old kid was like, this is sick. But
because I'm sorry, I think it is sick.
That's the thing, but my 25-year-old was like, this is like too easy. It's too easy.
I don't think I don't think it's easy. I think all the people that are a bit snobbish about it, I think all the people that are a bit judgy about it couldn't do it.
Yeah.
If they could try their hardest, they could never do it.
Yeah. But it made me want to do it.
I think the easy bit is just that those stories sell. But making those stories is so difficult.
Yeah, of course.
So
yeah, man, super conflicted. I felt like...
What else exists out there like that? Like, I know that Motion House are really popular.
Yeah, but they've gone into like more circus stuff now. They don't do... I want to say arty contemporary, that's really bad, but...
Can I say?
They're more like... they do more circus, so like they... The reason they're big is because they
Is it circus? Yeah?
Yeah, they do like
okay.
hand-to-hand, they do... Yeah, no, it's circus.
In my head, I think gymnastics. Like, not that they're doing gymnastics,
okay,
but but that is still circus.
Circus,
yeah, of course.
Like hand-to-hand balancing is one of the circus skill. But yeah, they're doing really well for themselves. But I don't know, man. Like, the reason they're doing well is because they've got a niche of mixing contemporary and circus.
Yeah,
and people love it.
Okay,
and they have a massive history of.
This brings up a different conversation then that I think. I'm not talking about I have seen one piece by them, so I want to stress this isn't about them at all. But I sometimes wonder about the loss. Okay, so as we just decided, contemporary means of now.
Yeah.
But I do think that movement and structure and composition, those three key things about what dance is, I wonder if they're not being tuned to as much by, I would argue, like the NPO sector. I think there are a lot of people who rely on a thing, and I'm not saying Motion House do that, but that's a good example of a company that sells themselves not as just contemporary. It's really the circus bit is their big sell, right? Yeah. And I think there are others that maybe use. Okay, I'm not even going to get into it, but I wonder about. I talked about this recently with my friend, and I'm not going to say his name because I'm not sure he wants to be named on it, but. We were talking about the craft of putting movement together, the craft of blending movement, the craft of making movement, the craft of making interesting movement, the craft of putting sections together, not just in unison, the craft of balancing space. I'm not sure that's being attacked as much as it used to be. It almost feels like you either have it or you don't, because it feels like we're teaching more about, and I've obviously ranted about this before, and I'm not sure that we're on the same page. I think maybe we disagree slightly here, but voice seems to be taking precedent.
Oh yeah, yeah.
In the, I would argue, maybe the independent mid-career sector, and this actually goes back to what we're saying about audiences trusting dance, because I remember graduating from Northern, and my first piece, as you know, Ocean, is touring, and at the time it's touring, I'm going to watch it in different places so that I can, like, in my head I'm thinking, well, I'm going to be a choreographer now, so I need to go meet people and make sure I know what I'm doing, but I'm terrible at networking. It was just me listening to people, basically. And so really what it was great was for me to learn about how the industry was, because I didn't really know enough. And I would hear this a lot. I would hear, yeah, dance isn't really getting booked at the minute because it's audiences aren't trusting it. And so don't you think that's because people are going to see what they believe is dance, all those things, movement, composition, structure, unison, well, not canon, but all of the different aspects that we know about movement, and what they get is a lecture, or they get twitching, or they get someone just standing for a long time, or something conceptual. Like, I wonder about how we get back, because when I got to Northern, the history that I understood of what dance was it was movement everywhere, movement all the time, and lots of movement, and also it's such a young history. Contemporary has not been around that long. I think about how long music is, like just the length of like rock and roll, just the length of what R&B is. It's not really. I mean, hip hop has moved a lot in a short space of time, but we've drastically disappeared from maybe where we began very quickly. Oh, he's just breathing. I thought he was going to say something.
Deep breathe.
Deep breathe.
Say it for your bit, bro.
Yeah, so I think that's something that I've been thinking about a lot, because I don't do it. It's not a thing that I like to do. I don't love to use the voice. I think all I really think about, how many artists do you think of movement first? And should that maybe be more? Because there were rules when we got to Northern. When I got to Northern, sorry, that you couldn't do a solo to anything with lyrics. That's kind of gone now. And there was a choreography exam where you weren't allowed, and I hated this, but you weren't allowed to use any music with a clear rhythm, which I always thought really sort of deleted most black music. But whatever. But maybe there needs to be a rule for young people who just started out to say, you can no voice, not no voice when you're ready to make it, but right now, for a year, for 2 years, hone your ability to just use the body. But I don't know.
Every more or less every piece I've worked for as a contemporary artist has started out with me knowing some sort of role.
Okay.
And it hasn't been movement first. Like,
really? Okay.
Yeah, as in like,
Okay,
so this is what the piece is about. So I kind of want this thing where it's like something, and it hasn't just been movement exploration. Maybe I'm, you know, one of a kind, but majority of the time it's like I have an idea of what kind of mood or thing I'm thinking of, if that's what you mean. Or do you mean, are you talking about pure movement versus kind of conceptual movement?
Pure movement.
Yeah, so like I haven't ever started blankly pure movement.
But I saw your piece for Northern Connections.
Oh god, yeah.
And there were 6 pieces that year. I'm not going to say the names, but there were 5 other pieces. Every other piece had voice. Yours is the only one that didn't.
Right.
That to me, that says something. If there's 6 works on in 2 separate programs and only one of them doesn't use voice, I'm not for a second saying I don't think. I saw the Hiccup Project about a year ago, belly laughing, like dying on the floor. I thought that sort of laughter where you think, oh, I'm going to die because I can't breathe, like edibles laughter, basically. That's what I would say. I can say that, right? Yeah, all right, cool. So I'm not discounting the value of it, but I would think it's a problem if in an institution that has the word dance above it, 5 out of 6 of the projects that you have commissioned in a year have a heavy focus on voice. If I go to a building like, well, I'm not going to say the names of other buildings, but how many times have I seen a show where I think dance is really being attuned to?
I told you this. Was it in Stockton? Arc.
Yeah.
Spoke to one of the guys there, and I asked him like, well, like, how come there isn't much dance there? I asked for like residency space.
I don't think you did tell me this, but no.
I asked for residency space, and he was like saying, oh yeah, we don't really hire like bring in much dance people simply because the dance that the audience members that come to the shows don't ever come to dance because they don't trust it. And I think, except when it's like hip hop or circus, because they know what they're gonna get. They know that they're gonna enjoy themselves because it's impressive. But
also, you don't feel like you're being lied to when you
exactly. And I think dance it's so broad that you can't. Like comedy, for example, you go to a comedy show, you're expected to laugh.
You expect to laugh, exactly. Right. So you're saying almost like you don't know what the expectation is with.
Yeah, and again, McDonald's is a fucking crazy business that you know exactly what is going to come out. And so with dance, it's like it's so broad that I sort of feel like there should be maybe, as an idea, micro genres or something.
Yeah, I've always thought we don't do a great job of saying what we actually are.
Yeah, for sure.
And that leaves it wide open. But I also think, like, and this is the... Wait, go on.
This kind of goes against my idea of being labels and shit, but, here we are.
I don't think it's about labeling. I just think it's about allowing an audience to not be completely in the dark.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair to them. I just don't think it's fair. I think actually movies in trailers now are showing too much, but you still know what you're going to see, kind of.
Yeah.
Even back in the day, you still kind of know what you're going to see.
It's like Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
My name's Carol. What's she with you?
No, I'm surprised. Have you seen Captain Marvel? Don't watch it. Jesus Christ. It's the only one that's dreadful.
I'll go watch any of them.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah. But I guess my point is, like, I've watched trailers for movies before and thought, well, I don't know what that's about. But I know what genre it is. Yeah. I'm not... There was one movie, it had Jesse Eisenberg in, the guy from... Yeah. And it was about him going to... like working at a holiday sort of thing to raise money to go to university. And the trailer made it seem like... Remember Superbad?
Yeah.
Made it kind of seem like Superbad. But actually ended up being this really depressing film about... sort of relationships, and that was the one time I thought they did a bad job of telling me what the movie is. And now I don't go and watch what the director makes because I'm like I can't. It wasn't good. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And so they just do a really good job of making sure we know what it's. And so anyway, this leads me to saying really that I think there are a lot of problems, and over the course of this whole show, in every episode, I'm sure we're going to get to the issues with infrastructure, the issues with there not being enough money. Certainly in theatre and dance, that I think that like £1 billion goes in every year to the Arts Council, and it's about a penny out of everyone's tax, and it makes I think £7 to every one that goes in, maybe a bit more. So it's clearly more could be put in. I agree with that. I also think there's a huge infrastructure problem, and I'm not sure we'll get enough time to talk about that, but it drives me crazy where some of the money goes. Like I don't want to get too annoyed about it, but. Like, I just went to meet an independent producer today. Buzzing, she's great, lovely person. I'm actually very excited to talk to her a bit more. But, like, how many times have I seen a role for a producer go up in some centre and it's like they're getting 20 to 30k? And I think if you just split that up into 4 commissions, I don't need a producer to help me do a project if I've got $5,000 in the bank. That's going to be a lot easier than someone who can help me with just a bit of in-kind space. So I agree that there are problems that I think dancers always talk about. But do we own up to our failings a little bit?
As independent artists?
As independent artists, as mid-career artists, and further. Do we own up to the fact that we're maybe a bit too comfortable?
Fully.
We're not... like, it's... Every other industry, if they don't make a profit, they die. We literally don't make a profit. I was going to say we don't have to. We don't make a profit. We don't even break even.
Rare, yeah.
We're so lucky... and we're lazy. And in my head, I think we're about to leave. Well, we're about to leave the EU. Who the fuck knows? I have no idea. But all of this is going on. I think this is our little foundation. We're all above it. That could be poured at any time. And I just don't think people are. I'm terrified of that. I'm genuinely terrified that will go. And I think everything I do now is geared towards. I need to survive if there's no Arts Council. How many people are really afraid of that? I don't think they are. And also, even if they're not, even if we are safe, you should still be maybe chasing something a little bit more than the safety net. I don't know. I'm really just saying it. You don't have to say anything to it. I'm just kind of posing it.
I 100% agree. And I feel like...
Because that isn't just about work. That's about how innovative you are with your work.
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Dancers need to be more business minded in the sense that they know they need to have a goal or have structure in their life, so they're able to kind of figure out where they want to end up. Whereas, like, ask me this like 2 years ago, I would have been like,
Sure.
what the fuck? I don't know.
Yeah,
what I'm
but fine. But you would have been innovative in your own head to think of new and exciting things to do.
Yeah.
I often think that the new and exciting things to do are really just a rebrand of something that's been done before. And there are examples that we can all think. I'm not going to say them, but there are examples where I'm like, oh, that's just that from 2 years ago with a new name. That's just that from 2 years ago. With
But my initiative only came from me growing up from my parents, for example. They told me you should just go for it and just do it. Go in or like, don't do it. And I don't feel like I was... I remember just going to, like, the couple of months I was at Northern, I felt super stagnant. It just felt really weird.
Really?
In a sense that I was
when
learning
you were on the apprenticeship.
Yeah, I was there for like 3 months or whatever when I was with Comedian. When I was there for 3 months, I felt like I was learning technique, great, but in terms of actually progression for what I want to do, I felt like I wasn't doing anything. I felt like I was stagnant. And I think that's a question on, I mean, I'm probably saying a lot of crap right now, but a question on fire within schools and...
I think it's more than just schools, but yeah, I agree. There's
parenting.
No, I think that, like, a great example I can think of is Chris Radford. Chris Radford has always had fire because he and to a certain extent he's had fire as well. And I think actually it's similar with you, and this gets us onto education because you didn't go to a conservatoire. You had an interesting journey with your dance career. Chris comes from a working class background and just knows how. Like, you'll hear him go, oh my God, I'm so tired, I'm dying. So this is our friend Chris Radford, who's at Ace Dance and Music right now. I've known him for years. I've known him since I was like 14. Chris is like, oh my God, I'm dying, I'm so tired. And he's smiling while he says it. Like, yeah. You know, so I do think people that come through struggle know better how to spark a fire in themselves sometimes. And... yeah, I don't know. I do. I mean, I'm going to get onto this afterwards. We're going to get onto this with Tom, but I do worry about the lack of, like. I think the working class voice is so crucial. Yeah, it's and not even as choreographers, but as dancers, it's so crucial. You've been dancing a lot, right? More than I don't dance. Basically, I just make. And I wonder, is there anyone you've had experiences with in the space who's challenged your, like, perception of your who's just sort of challenged your, what's the right phrase here, like, your perspective on work? And I had someone complaining about dance recently, and I remember going, I worked for Subway for 6 months. Your parents have just bought you everything. And I never said this to them. This was a few weeks ago now. I say it all the time. I bring Subway up all the time. And, like, I did that job for barely a minute. I was in McDonald's this morning. I haven't had a breakfast in so long from McDonald's, so I thought I'm going to go in. And I clocked this guy, and he's sweeping up the floor. And I'm staring at him for a while. He's got these tattoos and shit, and I realise he's been there since I got to Northern 10 years ago. And I couldn't stop staring at him. And he literally looks at me, and we're dead-eyeing each other. And he has seen thousands of people in McDonald's who are drunk, and I'm there, and he's like, what's wrong with this guy? And I'm just sad, because I'm looking at him like, fuck. I've had it so lucky. I worked a job December, January, February, March in Subway. That was it. I haven't had to work a job since. Like, I've just been dancing. Before that, I had other jobs, of course. But I never really had money from my parents. They've lent me from time to time. I stayed in my mum's basement for like a year and a half because I was injured, and then I just didn't want to make all the time. I wanted to sort of rework out my journey. So I feel lucky that I've had that support, but, like, being around someone like Tom, being around other people, meeting even the producer today who comes from a working class background, like, I need those people in my life. And in the same way that we're questing for more female voices, in the same way that we're questing for more a diverse sort of when it comes to ethnicity and race, I want more poor white people in my life. Like, I want more of those people because I just miss them. I just miss them so much. Like, they just keep you sane. Every time you're going to complain, they go fuck yourself. What are you talking about? That's not a real thing. You're stressed because your studio maybe costs a bit. Like, it just you know.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can only think about my experience, and like when I don't want to go into this, but my parents came from Asia, and then they said to me, "You either going to be a solicitor or a doctor
did you
or a
have
lawyer." I had that.
I didn't know that.
And like,
Oh shit, we've talked about this. Yeah.
yeah, and like, I struggled with that. I was conflicted throughout my teenage years. Like, all right, cool, I don't want to do that because I'm not that smart. But then, you know, now I'm like, okay, I've got to go in on my career, otherwise I don't want to.
Yeah,
I don't want my parents.
fail.
I can't fail
You
because
can't fail, dude.
do you know what I mean? So
I
like,
can fail. My parents are nice, bro. I'm not good at it, but
do you know what I
yeah.
mean? So I've got to like go in on my career, and if I don't do it, I'm a fucking bum
Yeah.
in my head, you know. But I sort of feel like that pressure from my parents back in the day, the pressure I put on myself actually helps me to fucking go at it, and I sort of feel like that goes in with that correlates with some dancers nowadays. They just feel like if they don't make it as a dancer, they could always be I don't know,
Yoga, Pilates.
PGC
I love those people. They're so necessary.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
And
of
I
course.
get why they're doing it, but I don't have the money to go to India.
I don't have
and
the patience
learn-
for
Get
that.
an elephant.
Like, I'm sure most of those people have earned the money to do it. I'm
Yeah, fully.
totally being rude and a dick on this, but like I see that phrase, I'm getting my yoga certificate. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
You're done then, right?
Yeah.
I tell you what, I used to say this about, and I know someone's going to be angry about this, but fuck it. I used to say this about the, like, if you're a dancer now, and you're at Northern or at any of the schools, and Easter's coming up, or half term's coming up, and the Friday, and you live in England, if you live abroad, that's one thing, but if you live in England, the Friday, the final day of that school period, you bring your suitcase in, because you're so excited to get home that you have to leave the minute 5 o'clock goes. They're not going to be dancers. I know no one's gonna. I know I'm gonna get hate, but I remember no, they're not gonna be dancers. Like, there's a certain level of comfort that you need, but you need to be uncomfortable.
I remember when I was at Northern, right? James.
Someone's gonna be pissed about that.
Probably. I remember being at Northern and seeing James in every single solos.
James. Oh, you're James. Yeah,
I'm
like
French. I'm James
yeah,
Oliver.
yeah.
He would be in the studio all the time, improvising, freestyling,
Right,
just
yeah,
having
yeah.
a fucking good time. And for me, that is what you need to have that, to just grind and figure out what the heck you want to do.
I think you need to work out who you are.
Yeah, fully.
And if you're going home all the time, and if
Yeah.
you're relying on not yourself all
Yeah.
the time, if
Yeah.
you're on the phone to your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your mum or your all the time,
yeah.
you're not. I just don't think you've found anything yet. And yeah, I mean that's bullshit. Someone
Individuality,
somewhere,
like, I think,
of course.
Yeah.
And I think as well, like, I mean, how do you find auditions? Because I don't think they're nearly as when I was young, and I was getting into this, people were always like, God, it's such a ruthless industry, isn't it? That's, you watch like Fame or something, or you would see stupid examples, but it's kind of not. Like, yeah, there's people, the ruthless part of it is that you're not going to get a job because someone likes you.
Yeah.
Usually you're going to get a job because you're good, but it's not. It just doesn't feel as painful as I thought it would feel. It feels so. Everyone's so nice. Everyone's so nice, and I just think, like, I look at footballers, and to be a footballer, you'll probably play from the age of 8 to the age of 18, and you could still not do it. Like, it's even by the age of 18, it's still 1 in 1,000.
Yeah.
To play professional football, not to play top level, just to play professional football. I do kind of feel like, if we're talking about an art form that should be, it should be impressive. I do feel like we need more of a harsher environment, maybe just one that maybe kind of inspires you to bleed for it a little bit, but not really bleed for it, obviously. And I think we're taking care of each other a lot more now, because there are real issues of like mental health in arts in general, and we're absolutely taking care of each other for the right reasons. But it does feel like this is not about education. This is just about each other. There's just a little, I don't know what the word is. Maybe it's grit. Maybe it's like a tension that I just miss it.
Resilience.
Yeah, maybe. I love sport, and the thing is, like, I failed at Northern as a dancer. I was not a good dancer. Like, I mean, I was sure I was fine with improvising, but I did not work hard enough. And I actually think it's because I always did well in sink or swim environments. I didn't feel like I was ever sinking or swimming at Northern. I felt like I could pretty much coast.
Yeah.
And when I know I can coast, I will. My dad used to tell me, he used to say, "Do not take the path of least resistance." He would always like drag that out of me, because I would, if I could, I would take the path of least resistance. But if you're telling me that to get over there, I have to do it your way, then I will. But I think I'd be a much better dancer if my environment had been more difficult. Both because I was a better dancer in Ace Youth as a kid. I was a better dancer probably in my foundation year, and then even now as a graduate. It's too easy now as a graduate to not really need to dance. But I'm not really working. Auditioning, sorry. I'm not really auditioning.
Yeah. I had my first audition in a while, and it was probably the best audition I've ever been in, simply because...
Which one was that? Oh, wait, do you want to say? No. What do you mean you hosted one?
No, I was at. I was an auditionee. Don't really want to say, but...
No, it's cool. Yeah, I thought you meant it was yours.
It was simply the best audition, simply because everyone there wanted the job so fucking bad that everyone was like hyping each other up, but then I was like, all right, cool, I want to do better than that person.
Yeah, this is what I always love about hip hop and break, right? Like, it is supportive, but I don't do it, but you still want to be the best one in the room.
Yeah.
I almost sometimes feel like we're so in awe of each other in contemporary. We sit there like this, like, oh my god, look how amazing he is, and that's great. Feel that, but also be a little bit jealous.
Yeah,
have a little bit of jealousy. I don't think envy's bad. I don't think if it's used in the right way, envy is not bad as long as don't direct it negatively so that you hate them. Yeah, but I think it's good to have a feeling of like, oh, that was really good.
Yeah.
I'm going to say his name. Barnaby Booth is one of my favourite people. I love him. And I watch his work and I'm like, fuck, how does he do it?
Yeah.
I don't want to do it like that. I do not want to do what he does. But I look at it and think, fuck, he's put that work in. Yeah. I need to work like he's
I thought the same when I watched Botis's work.
Yeah.
I was like,
so exactly another one where I'm like, well, I don't do hip hop, but I watch that. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I need to know what he did to do that, so I know what I need to do what. Of course. And I think we're so appreciative of each other, like, which is lovely and it's kind. The word I hate is soul. The amount of times I hear someone go, oh, what a beautiful soul about dance. If you like, oh, look, can any kind soul lend me a fucking thing? Look at all these kind souls who go fuck yourself, dude. Stop it. Just stop begging at like at this sort of, I don't know, it's like everyone wants to be liked by the people that are brilliant. I don't care about, if the brilliant people don't like me, I don't really give a shit. I can idolize someone that doesn't care about me. Like, anyway. So we're actually kind of closing up here. Okay, so final thing that we'll do in this, I'll do it in every episode, is that I bring forward these unpopular opinions. Okay. So I emailed a bunch, no, I didn't email, I put out a little call out and said, please send me things that you're too afraid to say in general, right? And
oh God,
I have to be honest, most of them piss me off because I've already lost them. Where are they? Because it seemed to me like people were using it as a thing to moan, basically, which is fine, and I want those people to moan. But there are a few things that have come through that I'm gonna basically. This one is the shortest one. A lot of them are long, and I've condensed them. Yeah. But this is the one I think I wanted to apply it to you because you went to Leeds Beckett. And, no salt on Leeds Beckett, but for a dancer that's come through there, you've done incredibly well. If you don't mind me saying, I'm not going to be a douche about it, but I think there's an expectation on the dancers from conservatoires to do not even as well as you've done, a little bit less than that. So you've done really well considering that was your beginning. But I know it's a great course, and I know Rachel Creasure runs it, who's amazing, right? So the question that so most are long, but this dude, I don't know if it's a dude or a girl, but this person just wrote auditions are bullshit. They wrote a bit more, but I just wanted to condense it down to auditions are bullshit. And their general sort of issue with it was and it felt like they were ranting and then they just click send. But it felt like that. I've heard the phrase. I've never auditioned, but I've heard it said before that they felt like they were going to auditions where the choreographer already knew who they wanted. So maybe, I don't know. What do you feel about that? You've done a lot of auditions. How's your approach been to like? Do you feel like there's sometimes a waste of time? Do you feel like that it is useful going? I think there's a lot I would say to this, but I want to hear what you guys
Open
say.
auditions are bullshit, in my opinion.
Can we just say that? No more open auditions. Like no more.
Yeah.
They're egos. They're just so you can take a picture of a long line. That's all it is.
We was at that audition where it was like 1,000 people lined outside Laban.
Just say it.
Hofesh.
It was Hofesh.
He had an open audition, and I'm pretty sure he didn't take anybody.
And my friend wrote on a status I wrote recently saying, "Yeah, I got down to the end and he didn't take anyone. He didn't take anyone."
That's messed up. Yeah,
that
1,000
is
people.
that is a demonic practice. That is like how many people? Yeah, it's vile. It's vile.
Open auditions are bullshit.
So cool. We know that. So if he put that, then we agree.
Yeah.
But let's move on to a regular audition.
A regular audition. So
Everybody knows. The people who host open auditions know they're bullshit. Anyway.
So like genuinely, I feel like people who need dancers, if they are going to host an audition, they need to 100% say to themselves that they can't find anybody, and they cannot get anybody to do a thing. If you have a person in mind, bring him into the studio.
It's almost
do
like
workshop audition.
I've seen someone. I know I won't say their name, but I saw someone who was basically told that the job was theirs because they had worked with this person before, and then they saw them auditioning, and it was like he just felt like he had to do an audition. He or she. What? So yeah, I agree. I think that so I've done it now. I've picked 3 dancers for a project who I didn't even do an audition. I just put a thing up on Instagram. I was just like, dude, I need a third. Yeah. And I've seen it. There's no one else for me to see. I've seen you all. You know, I think that I have to say, to be honest, I have found people in auditions. The first 2 auditions I did, I loved. I found this guy. Actually, no, I found you by working with you at Edge Hill.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, so there you go. I think you've got a few jobs where you didn't expect to get it. Yeah. Like I remember you telling me about
most of the jobs I auditioned.
No, but I think most of them. I think there's been a couple where
I've like, yeah, okay, I got the job. But some of them have been like, oh shit. Like one job was quite technical, and I'm like, yo.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. I can't remember his name. Like, it was North guy, right?
Yeah, a guy from Newcastle.
Yeah, that was the one I was. You were telling me, and then I didn't know his work, and then I looked, I was like, oh shit, well done.
Yeah, fully.
So the idea that you can't get a job through an audition is bullshit. But there is maybe a little bit of truth that I think it's us. I honestly think independent artists do it the most.
I think because like in auditions, it's usually one day, and how are you supposed to know the person's kind of work ethic in one day?
Yeah,
and so like the reason I got that job was simply because within those 8 hours, I was just going in on that audition. I've never done this kind of movement before, so I was just going in on it, and I guess that's the reason why I got it. And so. But then doing a project, it was a bit hard. You know, it was a struggle. Like mentally, I was like, "Fuck." But
so mentally, then tapped his heart.
Mentally, yeah, it was a struggle. But like within that 8 hours, I seemed to show something that was great. And so they are bullshit in a sense that you can't find out who a person is. Because I sort of feel like if I do an audition, I'm going to show my best shit within those 8 hours.
Yeah.
But then after working with me, they're like, actually, he's just doing the same shit.
Well, that's kind of I guess that's why auditions are bullshit, because you see the best that the person has on the day.
Yeah.
So that's it. They've got no more to give you.
I can't give you any.
Do you know what I mean?
Bro.
Like
I'm dead.
It is hard. It's like a first date. Like you go on a first date and they're like, "Oh my god, he's amazing."
Second date,
it's all downhill, babes. Like I don't get better.
I've got a list of moves.
This was the best I did.
1 to 10.
Yeah. So I guess there's such a. Or what? No.
I don't know. Like sometimes, like I've had jobs like because I only go to auditions that I get invited to. Like I only, yeah. And then sometimes
how else would you rock up to ones that you don't get involved?
People do that though. People do that.
I've never in a million years.
We both did the same one. I've never done one since. But
okay. But like sometimes I've got the job and I've known for a fact that I wasn't the best fella in the room. But the person's come to me and said like I know I can get that out of you.
Right.
And then during the process, I've actually fucking got better.
So, but is that not more a character thing, like a thing about acting or character? I don't necessarily think it's a
technique.
Was it more
Yeah,
technique?
it was more
Okay,
to do with
that's
that.
surprising.
They were like, I know I can get that technique out, yeah.
Okay,
Right.
And they might.
fair enough.
Right. Nice.
Tom's cooler, so I
Man
guess
like
that's
Tom.
right,
Yeah.
I think part of the practice about auditions that I ranted about recently, that I do want to see, that, and I say this, I think I feel like the MPOs, the older heads, they sort of have a traditional sense about what an audition should be. I'm not saying that all of them do it perfectly, but I've seen people on our level doing things that I don't like, recording auditions and then posting them online. We don't even need to say names. I'm not even going to get into it. I'm just going to say it now. I don't like it. Stop doing it. I saw a company recently.
We've had this
fucking store on Instagram. Look at his face. Look at his face. They posted the whole thing on their story. And I just think an audition is not an advert.
You're vulnerable, man.
Everybody needs to feel safe in the
Vulnerable,
space.
do you know what I mean?
Everybody needs to feel like they're there because they're there for a job, not for you. Because I'm going to be frank about this. I do think some people host auditions because it's a good way to sell the company. I think some people have...
1,000 people outside one building, bro.
I'm not even talking about that. Well, I know an open audition is bullshit. I'm saying I think some companies and some artists have maybe held an audition when they knew they didn't need to. And they just felt like, well, I got to. Because here's the thing. I feel like when you say, oh my God, 600 people have applied to my audition, that's a little bit of marketing. When you take a picture on the day and go, audition day selfie, that's a bit of marketing. Everything else is out of bounds. You can't post videos of people unless you... And don't even ask their permission, because they're not going to say no. They want a job.
Yeah.
And also, sorry, because I'm going to finish this, don't boast about how many people applied to your audition, because they're not applying to you. They need a fucking job. I'm going to say it now, and I'll say it about myself. I'm not anyone's dream. No one is training right now who is sitting there like, I need to be in his company. When they apply to me, they need a job. They're not like, oh my God, 6 weeks in the summer? Oh my God, I can go to Bali. This is so exciting. They need a job. And I'm not saying they're not going to be the great dancer, but just stop begging it.
Yeah.
And I mean us. I do mean us. This. And I'm happy for people to argue with me and say this is bullshit. But yeah.
When you audition people, do you ask for cover letters?
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't. People have sent, and sometimes I'm like, oh, that's nice, but just to anyone who don't send me one, I'm not going to read it.
Whenever I've spoken to other dancers...
I just want a show reel. I just want a show reel. I don't even want your address. You could be you could be a criminal. You could have committed fraud. Just have a good show reel. That's all I care about.
Yeah, but like cover letters, like for me, they're kind of bullshit, because it's like, what are you supposed to say in the cover letter? Oh, I saw your work, Ocean. It was great.
Yeah.
So,
what is someone going to say? Yeah, you're all right.
If they were truthful, they were like, yeah, kind of just want money, mate.
Exactly.
So.
Well, this goes back to, but this isn't just this is life. When Subway was like, why do you want to work at Subway? I don't want to work at Subway. I'm poor. I got rent to pay, bitch. Like, give me a job.
Fully.
Lied about my name and everything. So.
Yeah, you did.
Well, because I wasn't getting a job as the name Jamaal.
Yeah,
I changed it to James and got like 6 interviews on the same day. And I thought it was a black thing, and it turns out I think it's a Muslim thing. I think they think I was Muslim. Yeah, well, because Jamaal Burkmar sounds a bit Arabic, which I don't know why I was more offended. Like, I was a bit like, when you're racist towards me as a black person, I'm like, okay, that's for me to deal with. But now you're racist towards me and a person I'm not even with, a Muslim person.
All the dance jobs I'm going to apply for, I'm going to just put my Chinese name.
Really?
Full.
Okay,
From now
I wanted to say.
I want to do it.
What is your Chinese name?
Chow Yun Fat.
Motherfucker. Honest. Wait, what?
Yeah. Let's not get into that.
He's the actor as well, right? Okay.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I wanted to say, is Daniel your real name?
Passport, yeah.
Is your passport name?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it's the first name I got given, but then my granddad.
I had a friend called Kirsty. Kirsty what? No, fuck, I can't say her name. I had a friend called Kirsty, basically. Her name wasn't Kirsty.
I think it was Wang people.
No, it wasn't. It was long. It was a long. I stopped. It was long.
Okay.
Long surname.
I was going to be really racist there. Go on.
You can. It's your people do. I think that's it. I think that's the first episode done.
Sweet.
Yeah, man. That was fun.
Nice.
Missing someone.
Yeah.
You better get up, like, say hi.